Dear students, welcome to our chapter 3, temperature, part 2, soil temperature. I have covered soil temperature in two small basic classes. The summary I am going to discuss with you. Before that, to inspire you and to share you what I learned from the society, what I learned from the groups which I worked, from my students, above all, my teachers. Okay. Once Gautam Buddha was passing through a forest along with several of his disciples. He had asked one of his disciples to get little water. So he had gone to a pond where they have crossed a few minutes back. He returned empty glass saying that the water was not pure, sir. So that's why I go to some other place. It may take little time to come. Gautam Buddha in a very pious way said, dear disciple, go back to the same stream to get the water. When the disciple gone there, saw the water was very clear, crystal clear. The disciple took the water and then gave it to his master, Gautam Buddha. So, what had happened was, when Gautam Buddha was crossing along with the disciples that stream, just immediately they crossed the stream, a herd of elephants have passed through that stream. So the water got muddy. Everybody observed, and to say a story, to say a moral to all his disciples, he took that advantage, and then Gautam Buddha enlightened them like this. So, in our daily lives, in your studies also, sometimes some sort of inconveniences or disturbances, whatnot, some things will occur, but never you get worried over that. It will settle down. Coolly it will settle down, it will come up, definitely will grow. This is what I would like to say. Now, let us go into our soil temperature, that is the second part of our temperature chapter. What is meant by soil temperature? As I said a few times, the plant lives in two environments. Okay, one is the soil environment, the other one is the aerial environment. The soil environment is equally important as aerial environment. In the aerial environment, photosynthesis occurs, exchange of gases will take place, enzymatic reactions occur. All these are influenced by air temperature. Almost same functions plus three most important functions of soil temperature are the germination, that is coleorhiza going into soil, coleoptile coming out of the seed is influenced by soil temperature. Once again I will tell, germination of seeds is a function of soil temperature. Under low temperature conditions, most of the crop plants or seeds won't germinate. Under very high temperatures also, no question of germination of seeds. So, soil temperature play an important role in addition to the air temperature. Number one, germination of the seeds and emergence of the seeds as well. Next one is, soil is the medium from which majority of the water is taken by the plant. Soil is the medium from which majority of the water is taken by the crop, or you can say horticulture plantations. Now, depending upon the soil temperature only, the water moves. Another most important thing is, along with the water, most of the nutrients, nitrogenous, phosphorus, potassium, micronutrients, whatnot, every nutrient to a large extent enters into the plant through soil water, through roots. So soil temperature play an important role in the movement of the water and nutrient uptake by the crop plant. In addition to that, some microorganisms which are essential for microflora, we call it as, okay, microorganism we call. They are in the soil. Microbial activities, nitrogen transformations, for example. So microbial activity is essential for certain mineralization, certain soil processes. Temperature of the soil play an important role. That's why we should understand the importance of study of soil temperature on crop plant. This is the importance. Now, what are the factors influencing the soil temperature? There are two major factors. Number one is environmental factors. In that, solar radiation, wind, evaporation, condensation and rainfall. These are the most important environmental factors which influence the soil temperature. Then there are soil factors, aspect and slope, soil texture, tillage and tilth, organic matter, soil moisture. So these are the factors which influences the soil temperature, which is essential for, in addition to the functions of air temperature, for germination, for photochemical reactions, for movement of the water, xylem, phloem actions and microbial activity. The factors affecting the soil temperature you should understand. First one, as I said, is environmental factors. What are the environmental factors? The environmental factors include the first one is solar radiation. First one is solar radiation. What is solar radiation? In the beginning, first solar radiation base class I showed. The energy coming from the sun reaching the surface of the earth, okay, without the presence of the medium is known as solar radiation. So solar radiation is the major source of energy for organic life on the earth. Now, as far as soil temperature is concerned, how solar radiation play an important role? If you take the globe, the receipt of solar radiation over the equator is more as compared to poles. Okay. So, more the solar radiation, more the soil temperatures. Next factor is the wind. First one is solar radiation, second one is wind, environmental factors. First one, environmental factors. Okay, first one is solar radiation, second one is the wind. So, wind, when cool wind or cool breeze moves over the soil surface, the soils become cool. When hot winds blow, hotter will be the soil temperature. Third one, evaporation and condensation. What is meant by evaporation? Evaporation is a physical process in which evaporation and condensation. Okay, evaporation is a process in which the liquid water is converted into water vapor. So it by taking the energy. Okay, so during the process of evaporation of water from the soil, evaporation is a process in which the liquid water is converted into water vapor. So energy is taken. So evaporation causes the soil temperatures cooler in general, and condensation is a process in which energy is released. So soil gets heated up. So soil temperatures increase or decrease depending upon the third environmental factor, evaporation and condensation. And the fourth one is the rainfall. So what is rainfall? Rainfall is one of the forms of precipitation. Now, rainfall occurs usually in tropical areas, semi-arid areas. Different types of clouds are there: cirrus, cirrocumulus, cirrostratus. Cirrus, cirrocumulus, cirrostratus. No rain occurs from these high clouds. Altocumulus, altostratus. No rain occurs, no precipitation occurs, but from lower clouds. stratocumulus, stratus, nimbostratus. From these clouds, only nimbostratus clouds give the rain in the tropical areas or semi-arid areas. Once again, I will tell you won't get rain from cirrus, cirrocumulus, cirrostratus, high clouds. Altocumulus, altostratus, you won't get the rain. Stratocumulus, stratus, nimbostratus, even though they are low clouds, you won't get rain from stratus, stratocumulus, but stratonimbus clouds only gives the rain. Now, these stratonimbus clouds are of two types, warm clouds and cold clouds. If stratocumulus clouds are warm, so nimbostratus clouds are also warm. I will tell. Cirrus, cirrocumulus, cirrostratus, no rain. Altocumulus, altostratus, no rain. Stratocumulus, stratus, nimbostratus. When nimbostratus clouds are warm, soil gets warmed up. When nimbostratus clouds are cold, you get the soil temperature cold. This is how rainfall play an important role with reference to soil temperature is a function of rainfall also. To sum it up, environmental factors, solar radiation. More the solar radiation over the equator, more the soil temperature, or in any area on the earth. Next one is wind. Cooler the wind, much cooler the soil temperature. Hotter the wind, much hotter the soil, because soil is a solid, wind is a fluid. So that is the physical phenomena. The third one is the evaporation condensation. More the evaporation, lesser the soil temperature. More the condensation, more the soil temperature. Rainfall, I explained to you basics. Now, so let us go to soil factors. What are the soil factors I told? The first one is the aspect and slope. Second one is the soil texture. Third one, tillage and tilth. Fourth one, organic matter. Fifth one, soil moisture. Now, aspect and slope means, say, this is a globe. This is the globe. This is the equator. Northern side, southern side. Okay. Now, if suppose some mountainous ranges are there, somewhere, even this side also, some mountain ranges are there. So, what is meant by aspect and slope is mountainous areas which faces towards the equator will have more temperature as compared to mountainous areas facing the poles on the other side. Why? Because there is an insulation over the equator. So, mountainous areas facing the equator on both sides of the hemisphere, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, land hemisphere, water hemisphere. So, when the hilly areas or mountainous regions are facing towards the equator, mountains are static, but earth rotates around itself. Okay, that is the process I told in the basics. Now, so towards the equator facing areas would be warmer for the mountains, and towards pole facing areas the temperatures are less. So this is aspect and slope. What is meant by texture? As far as texture is concerned, there are different textured soils. Say for example, this is sandy soil. Sandy soil has got poor heat capacity, poor thermal conductivity, poor heat capacity, poor thermal conductivity. So, it warms up very quickly, it cools down very quickly because of poor heat capacity, poor thermal conductivity as compared to, say, this is the clay soil, in which clay soils as compared to sandy soils. Clay soils have a stability in heating, taking the heat and expressing the soil temperature. Now, in case of silt soils, a wonderful phenomena occurs. They have got very good built up. The texture and the structure in the silt soils is in such a way that they maintain optimum temperatures, thereby better movement of the water. Along with the movement of the water, better nutrient uptake. In addition to the microbial activity. So, soil texture play an important role with reference to soil temperature. The third one is the tillage and tilth. What is meant by tillage? When we wanted to sow seeds in a field, primary tillage, secondary tillage, seed bed preparation, then we go for seeding. When we till the soil, for example, you take this one. When we till the soil, the top layer of the soil becomes very, very porous. So, once the soil becomes porous, the tilled soil will have more temperature as compared to a soil which is, for example, this is a hard soil. Because, for example, this is a hard soil. As compared to compact soil, the tilled soil, compact soil is on the left hand, tilled soil is on the right hand. Okay, the tilled soil will have more temperature as compared to compact soil. The reason is that the tilled soil, the particles of the tilled soil are more exposed towards the sun as compared to the hard soil. More of the surface area of the soil particles in the tilled soil are exposed to sun. Thereby, the soil temperature of tilled soil is more as compared to compact soil. That's why, if at all, by any chance, somebody tries to walk without chappals on a very hot sunny day, May 10th, for example, when you are not wearing your chappals, you prefer to walk on the hard soil because hard soil is relatively less temperature as compared to a tilled soil like our powdery soil. This is what I would like to explain to you as far as the soil tillage and tilth is concerned. Then, with reference to organic matter, with reference to soil moisture, I will explain to you. This is the organic matter. This is the organic matter. When organic matter is added to the soil, okay, this is the soil to which, if I put the organic matter, what happens? When I add organic matter to the soil becomes darker. Once the soil becomes darker, the soil temperature increases. When soil temperature increases, within certain limits, the microbial activity will be excellent because you have added organic matter. So, addition of organic matter makes the soil darker, thereby increasing the soil temperature, which triggers the microbial activity. Another important thing is soil moisture. Say, for example, this is the soil. I am putting water or irrigation water like this. So, what is happening? Here, the soil moisture increased. Once the soil moisture is increased, the temperature of the soil from surface to certain depth, if you go, almost uniform. Once again I repeat. Soil moisture. Soil is there. When we give irrigation to a crop, it goes into the soil. Once the soil moisture is more, the temperature distribution, surface to 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter depth would be uniform. So, addition of water or irrigation reduces the soil temperature, but the uniform temperature is maintained by the plant, soil, thereby movement of the water. Along with the movement of water, more nutrients. Along with the movement of water and nutrient, microbial activity will be more. Okay, mineralization percent will be more. So, these are the factors affecting the soil temperature. That is number one. I tried in a very simple way. I tried to explain environmental factors: solar radiation, wind, evaporation, condensation, and rainfall. Soil factors: aspect and slope, soil texture, tillage and tilth, organic matter, soil moisture. Now, what are the factors, okay, affecting the soil temperature? If you ask if you are asked, certainly the question would come in your midterm, maybe in the final exam. So this is most common. Okay. So after this, we try to discuss for a minute or two variations of soil temperature, like air temperature variations, horizontal away from the equator, vertical adiabatic lapse rate, the rate of change of temperature due to rate of pressure, rate of change of temperature due to rate of pressure. We call it as the adiabatic lapse rate. 6.5 degrees centigrade is the average adiabatic lapse rate. 10 degrees is the dry adiabatic lapse rate. 5 degrees is the wet adiabatic lapse rate. It is not and not. 10 plus 5 dry wet. 15 by 2 not 7.5. It is 6.5 average adiabatic lapse rate. Horizontal, vertical, cyclic, daily, seasonal or annual. That is the air temperature. Similarly, in a very simple way, the soil temperature variation can be explained in a very simple way. Daily, for example, 6 o'clock, temperature of the air is 20. Okay, soil temperature will be less, 19 or 18. Okay, like the temperature goes on increasing up to 12 o'clock, air temperature. By 12 o'clock, the soil temperature would be reaching to its maximum, say 35. Okay, after that air temperature increases. By 2:30, the temperature of the air may become 32 or 33 or 34. But soil temperature reaches its peak just before the air temperature, because soil, as I said in the temperature class also, soil is the, of course, air is the fluid, soil is just solid. So, because of it, solid states, it expresses, it gets warmed up or heated up quickly as compared to air. So, there is a lag between the air. There are several reasons. Physical reasons are innumerable. Our discussion is limited to only crops, because ours is agricultural meteorology, not general physics, not general climatology, not astronomic physics or astronomic, no, not. So, as far as crops are concerned, this explanation holds good by taking into certain basic laws, which I would like to discuss after a minute or two. Now, if you take the daily, seasonal, for example, seasonal temperature variation, seasonal soil temperature variations. Just a half minute back, we tried to understand what is the daily soil temperature variations. Okay. Seasonal temperature. Seasonal means, if it is winter, soil temperatures are less. If it is summer, okay, soil temperatures are more. It is a general fundamental principle. Okay. So, this is how variations of the soil temperatures are explained in the basic course, like introductory, agrometeorology and climate change. And finally, I would like to discuss with you small, not Boyle's law, not Charles' law, not universal gas constant or anything, but simple laws, 1 or 2, 3, which are really useful for understanding agrometeorology. Very, very simple. Innumerable are there in my books. Terminology on agricultural meteorology, terminology on agricultural meteorology and agronomy, basic principles of agricultural meteorology, principles and practices of agriculture. Design. Several principles I discussed there, applications I discussed there. Because this is a basic course, I am not going to discuss all these things. Simple. What is Van 't Hoff's law or Q10 law? What is Van 't Hoff's law or Q10 law? What is it? It is for every 10 degrees centigrade increase in the air temperature, the crop processes are doubled. Meaning, if air temperature is 20, certain amount of biomass is produced. Then, if temperature is 30, this biomass production is almost doubled under certain limits. So, that's what is the meaning of Van 't Hoff's law, useful for our research at PG level or PhD or postdoctoral work. And first law of thermodynamics, you know it, mechanical equivalent of heat is the first law of thermodynamics. The work done is directly proportional to heat produced. A classical example is when you rub your hands or anything, so the work you have done is the heat produced. Of course, not exactly the same, but in a different form. I would like to enlighten you that work done is directly proportional to heat produced. That is the first law of thermodynamics. So with this small first law, no not, but first law of thermodynamics, while developing the GDD calculator and GDD concept and the occurrence of pests and diseases on crops, I used the first law of thermodynamics extensively. That's why I would like to share with you. This is the basic laws which we use. Of course, gas laws or okay, anyway, whatever it may be. In the wind chapter, I would like to add 1 or 2, 3 laws which are simultaneously applicable to soil temperature or air temperature. So, as far as basic terminology of wind is, as far as basic terminology of soil is concerned, energy balance, RN, net radiation. For example, I will explain to you the basic terminology. Simple, 1 minute. Okay, I won't take much of your time. Just I would like to say here net radiation. Basic terminology we are discussing of temperature. Net radiation is equal sensible heat flux plus latent heat flux, ground heat flux plus energy utilized in the photosynthesis. So what is net radiation? The difference between the incoming and outgoing radiation is known as net radiation. It is used in sensible heat. What is sensible heat? The energy utilized in heating the air. The energy utilized in evaporation and transpiration is latent heat. The energy that is reaching or stored in the ground is known as ground heat flux. Latent heat flux, sensible heat flux, latent heat flux, ground heat flux plus the energy utilized or stored in the photosynthetic plants of the crop plants is equal to net radiation. Again, going back to net radiation definition, the difference between the incoming and outgoing radiation. So, net radiation is partitioned into, this is the basic terminology at the UG level you should understand. This is what I would like to enlighten you in our air temperature and soil temperature. Quickly, a small understanding or quickly what we tried to understand in both air temperature and soil temperature. I would like to sum it up. Temperature is defined as measure of speed per molecule of all molecules of the body. Heat measures total molecular energy. Temperature measures average temperature, average energy of individual molecules. So that is the major difference between the temperature and heat. So importance of air temperature of the crop plants. How it is important? The air temperature influences. Air temperature is very important for one. It determines the distribution of crops. Photochemical reactions, energy exchanges, gaseous exchanges, enzymatic reactions, stability of production systems, everything is a function of air temperature. Then we try to understand air temperature variations. Number 1, horizontal, vertical. In the cyclic, we try to understand daily, seasonal or annual. Then low air temperature and plant injury, suffocation, physiological drought, heaving, chilling, freezing. High air temperature plant injury, desiccation, sun-clad, stem dead. Then we try to understand what is the GDD, what are the factors affecting the air temperature, starting from latitude, altitude, ocean currents, land and air masses, mountain barriers, relief, vegetation, like that. Then as far as soil temperature is concerned, we try to understand the importance of soil temperature. In addition to the air temperature aspects, the soil temperature significantly play on 3 aspects. Number 1, germination of the seed, coleorhiza into the soil, coleoptile over the land surface, okay, soil surface otherwise. Then microbial activity. Before that and before the most important is entry of water, okay, into the roots, from there to the plant parts, along with nutrients is influenced by soil temperature. Factors affecting the soil temperature, 2 factors, environmental factors, rainfall, wind, evaporation, condensation, and of course solar radiation, wind, condensation and evaporation and rainfall. Soil factors, aspect and slope, soil texture, tillage and tilth, organic matter, soil moisture. Then basic soil terminology are both the temperature of air and soil, and the research also to some extent. Thanking you very much once again. I would like to just tell you that please remember the messages of APJ Abdul Kalam ji, what I said, and Gautam Buddha with his disciple, what had happened. So you must be, you should be one of the wonderful citizens, every one of you. As Abdul Kalam ji said, every one of us in the society is sent by God to create, to enhance, or to work with great creative potential in us. Believe in yourself, be courageous, be bold. Then you must be in a position to say no, no and no. The way in which others wishes to ask to do something. In such a case, your inner strength, your innovation, your inner signals are manipulated or modified. So, be bold to be yourself. Be bold. That doesn't mean you should be alone. Man is a human being is a societal. Okay, in the society you are there. Be there in the society, but you must learn how to use your inner resources, how to use your inner signals rather than external influences in your daily life, in your professional life. And as Gautam Buddha said, things will be certainly not as you wish. Things will be as they wish. Like the water in the stream, when the disciple had gone there first time, when the disciple got next time. So get used to this university environment, the college environment, into your hostel environment. Study well, be great citizens. Thank you very much. May God bless you.